Hey, here we are. Another day, another Greek list by Kaspar. Um, for those of you who haven't heard yet, Kaspar, one of my Danish friends here, he is working on making Greeks maybe not competitive, but not suck at all. So we've been in Denmark. We've been sort of focusing on how to make minor nations work in bold action. The Greeks are one of the nations that we think we have something that could really work. And Kaspar has made this 1,000 points list, which has 14 order dice. So it has the order dice at the right level, right? 13 to 16 ish for me, at least. So 14 is good, especially because he's bringing a lot of stuff that has extra rules and stuff. So I like the 14 order dice. I think we could optimize this if we really wanted to, but it works. So let me talk you through the list and we can sort of discuss what's to be done here. He starts with a second lieutenant, the tax you pay, but then he's bringing a 2 extra man unit, so a 3-man unit. This makes them more survivable, especially when there's preparatory bombardment. It also makes it so that the unit itself is a threat to anything that gets it within range. I would equip them with submachine guns, simply because it's extra points in your army, extra shots, and it sort of counteracts the being inexperienced here, so that you have that many more shots to hit something, to deliver those pins. Yes, they're not a small team, but how often will the enemy really shoot at them? They are pretty vulnerable to snipers, though, so that is one thing to be aware of. Then he is bringing infantry. And I've talked a lot with Kaspar, and I've seen him play this list, and he's dividing his infantry into 2 parts. He's dividing his whole army list into 2 parts. The defensive backline, which will be the animal, and then the offensive, mostly actually outflanking, attacking element, that will be the hammer coming down. So bear that in mind when I'm talking you through this infantry here, that this will be divided into 2 parts, an offensive and a defensive part. So he's bringing 2 units of 6-man infantry, Greek infantry with VB launchers. So he has 6 rifles, and one of those rifles also has a VB launcher. That grenade is a rifle-fired grenade launcher, as if I remember correctly. So this is really interesting because it is an indirect shooting weapon. It is pretty expensive, but it will mean that these units have a light mortar in them each, which makes them kind of interesting, because enemy units can't really, sit too statically, because then they'll start to shoot that VB launcher. So enemy units in front of them will have to move. And at the same time, they are tough fighters. So you can't either, you can't just rush at them. Yes, they're regulars, but 6-man tough fighter? Don't get into close combat with that. That'll hurt. So, interesting little units. The tough fighters is there mainly to scare off enemy units, not to actually go out and fight close combats. So I like this. And then he has 3 units of infantry with 5 men in each, and this is his offensive section. I do not agree with how the points are spent in this, but I can't agree with the I can agree with the results that it's getting, and so far it's working out. He has 4 rifles in each section, and then a light machine gun. And the light machine gun is what bothers me. Of course it bothers me, Kaspar, you know this, right? Simply because it's too expensive, but it does pump out a lot of shots. And what will happen is that these 5 units will sit in a Bren carrier each. They will outflank, they will get out, and they will hose down something with their light machine gun and their rifles. So he's actually using these light machine guns as sort of submachine gun substitutes, right? Close combat weapons, which is a strange way of doing it. But if it works, it works. Each of these units are also tough fighters, again, so they're regulars, tough fighters, light machine gun. There is something with the points here. They're too expensive for what they can do, but with the limited choices you have in minor nations, this is really interesting. If it had been me doing the list, I would of course have made them just 5 rifles to sit in the Bren carrier, but it's not. So let's see how this goes. Then he is bringing a medium machine gun team again. You know my thoughts on this. He's bringing it inexperienced, and that is because with that many shots, you can be pretty sure it hits most of the time, which means that the enemy will get the pin, which is all you wanted. Perfect. And you're saving those 10 points. I still think it's not worth it, but I think it's more interesting when you do it like this. Medium mortar with spotter. That spotter will make sure that you can still fire it even though you need to hide from an enemy sniper, for instance. I love the medium machine gun, medium mortar. Sniper team, they have pistols. The assistant has a pistol, making them a little bit more dangerous in close combat. Medium artillery team, and this is where you can see sort of that this is well thought out, right? When you're going minor nations, you need a full complement of artillery, because that is what minor nations has. They don't have the range of tanks, they don't have the range of infantry, they do have artillery, and artillery can work. So a medium howitzer with spotter, medium mortar with spotter, double up. I like it. It really works, it does. And then comes the offensive part. He has a L3 tankette. This is a 7+ open-topped tankette which has double double forward-facing machine guns. So 10 shots. That's a lot of shots coming in. He's using it inexperienced, again, to save points. And you can do that if you just want the machine guns to deliver pins, maybe 1 or 2 kills. I would prefer it regular, but you can do it inexperienced. And then Bren carriers. 3 of those, regular, all of them, with the boys anti-tank rifle. This is brilliant, because with Greeks you get a bonus for outflanking. And those Bren carriers coming in from the outflank with the anti-tank rifles into the sides of enemy tanks. That Darker Steward will get 3 shots in the side with a +2, plus the bonus for this side armor, plus being vulnerable. This is anti-meta when it really works. Bringing those on from the side really is terrible for the enemy and for their tanks. And what will happen after it, they will move on, they will split fire, the boys anti-tank rifle will fire at a Darker Steward or something similar, and then the LMGs will spray down the infantry. And then coming out of those 3 Bren carriers will be 3 units of regulars with LMGs, delivering the extra shots, making sure that whatever infantry is near to that tank will be shot to pieces. This is a really good flank thrust. Yes, it's the list is not point optimized, but the list is well thought out. It's a really good outflanking hit that this can deliver. I like the list quite a lot, actually, even though there are things that I would change. Kaspar, let's see how you do next tournament. I really would I'm really looking forward to this. So, good luck. Cheers.